Hey guys, it's Al here, and welcome to what you probably already saw in the title, the Top Gear run. So, the name should say it all. I'm calling it a Top Gear run. It might be called Top Gear lap, actually. I'm not even sure what the title of this video is going to be. But nonetheless, it's going to be us taking some cars around the Top Gear test track and see what they can do. If you don't know what Top Gear is, you've been living under a rock for probably your whole life, or you're just too young. You're probably the latter or the former, because I don't know my audience demographic. So you might be either too young, or you may really just not know what Top Gear is. Top Gear was a motoring show on BBC, presented by Jeremy Clarkson, James May, Richard Hammond. 3 people, not one person with a long name, right? And those are the 3 best motoring journalists and TV presenters ever. You can't get better motoring TV presenters than those 3. They work the best. They've worked on shows like the Grand Tour, things like that. And what we're basically going to do is what they did throughout this series. Every week they'd have a car on, they'd run it around the track and see how fast it came. And they had a nice little board where they sticked all the names on. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. So, we're going to start today with a nice little car, not that GT4. That GT4 will come up, obviously, sometime. But we shall start with... settings need to be changed quickly. Where's the race setup? There we go. Just change the class to any. So, we're going to start off with something made in England, because we're racing an English track. So I thought we'd start off with something made in England. Now we could go for the 2016 Rolls-Royce Dawn. I don't think that's fitting, even though it's a good car. No, I don't think that's fitting. We could go Aston Martin, which is probably the best, considering it's supposed to be English. But I thought, what better manufacturer to race around an English track than Jaguar? And why not take one of Jaguar's most defining cars ever, the original S-Type, the Mark II 3.8. Now this was the car that obviously spawned the whole saloon series for Jaguar. This and a bit of the Mark 10, but I think this was a bit more prominent. The design sticked, even to this day. My 2006 Jaguar V6, I'll probably just splice the image in here. As you can see, it's basically the same car, except mine has a V6 and this is an inline 4 3.8. No, it's an inline 6 in it. Yeah, it's an inline 6 3.8 liters. Massive. It can't be an inline 4, it's 3.8 liters. But inline 6, 3.8 liters, massive engine. I mean, you put 3.8 liters in a V8 today, if not a V10. But nonetheless, we shall go with this car. And I just want to check something. One rule throughout the series will be, yes, that all cars have to be stock, and they have to run with realistic assists, which means this Jaguar won't have ABS and it will not have traction control because it didn't have it in the day. No upgrades will be made to the car. They will be factory standard, as they would come straight from new out of the box, and we'll run them across the Top Gear track. Now obviously we are allowed to do more than one lap because we want to try and get the fastest lap for each car. This Jaguar, I'm thinking it's gonna do probably over 2 minutes because it isn't new. The suspension is very wobbly, and it isn't fast, even though it does have a 3.8 liter engine. It is carbureted. Right. Nonetheless, let's get on the way with this Jaguar. Now, these Jaguars did come in manual, which means I am allowed to race it in manual mode. If a car did not feature a manual transmission throughout its range, we must use automatic. Straight rule. And just listen to that 6-cylinder 3.8 liter engine. Probably some of Jaguar's best work throughout history was this Mark II. And back in the day, it was actually not a very liked car. The people said it was too ugly. It wouldn't really sell because it looked hideous. And it wasn't, I think, 20 years later where people actually realized, but this car looks fantastic. And it does. So now, the run down to Hammerhead. Just look at that leaper on the front. Unfortunately, my Jaguar does not have the leaper on the front because nowadays the leaper is an optional extra. It does not come standard with all Jaguars, which is a shame. Some Jaguars, well, some S-types do have the leaper. Well, most S-types I've seen have the leaper equipped, which I really want to go ahead and buy myself a leaper and have it put on by Jaguar properly. So I've got a leaper on my bonnet. It just makes Jaguar. But anyway, coming to the follow-through now. And just keeping it flat on the throttle, lifting up a bit just to make sure I keep the corner. And now second to last on the brake, shift down to second, bring it in, and it will go wide, yes, because we're too fast through there. But isn't it a beautiful car? Shall we try that again? Let's do this. Start race, and on the revs, dropping the clutch there. Revs only to 5,500 revs, and then you have to switch over. There we go, third gear, 120 kilometers an hour. Now just clip this corner and bring it in neat, and flat on the accelerator into second, coming up to Chicago now. And now the thing is, with Chicago, you need to keep it very cleanly through here. Which this car, obviously with its weight and its size, does not want to do. But we are back, we're on. Now the run down to Hammerhead. Giving it everything it can do. 140, not even reaching 100 miles per hour. It would do 100 miles per hour, but you'd need probably from here to the moon to achieve that. And now getting out on the exit and down the back straight. Flat on the accelerator into third gear. 120 kilometers an hour. 130, and already off the accelerator onto the brakes very lightly. Take the corner into second. Now coming up to the follow through. Into third gear. And coming through here now. Yes, we could have done with a bit more power probably through there. And now off the accelerator onto the brakes. Keeping control into second gear. Second to last corner now. Bringing it in and Gambon. Come on. Well, we did it under 2. That's 149.8. 149.8. I think we can beat that. I think we can actually try and beat that. 148? Do you think we can do 148? I think we can do 148. And we are off. In the Jaguar Mark II, second gear, into third, and now 100 kilometers an hour. Off the accelerator, onto the brakes, keep it tight, brakes locking up very early actually, and we're on the grass, but we're keeping it in, come on. And now into Chicago. Keep it neat through here. Into second. And now the run down to Hammerhead. Full speed. Giving it everything that 3.8 liter will give. 130 kilometers an hour. Just touching 114. We're already slowing down here for the Hammerhead now. Coming in a bit fast, but keeping it tight. Wide through there. Now second gear, sliding a bit. Now down the back straight into third. Now it's just flat on the power. Off the accelerator onto the brakes very lightly, and it's going wide, We are fine, and now it's through to the follow-through. Keep it down, keep it down. Power, power, power all the way, not lifting off there. Second to last corner now, onto the brakes, bring it in neat, second gear. That's it. And now Gambon. There we go, come on, and across the line in 1:49.3. I think we can, I think there's still time to be one there. There must be 1:49.3. And we are off into second. Into third. 120. Bring it neat through here. Cut that beautifully. And in we go. Up the cog. And now for Chicago. Come on. Keep it tight. Not really. Now the run down to Hammerhead. Let's see how fast we can get it down here. That's 130. Again, just touching 140, and now we're already onto the brakes. Touching the handbrake there to get it around the heavy car. Swaying its body around, and now down the back straight. Cracking 1 minute 10 seconds already. Off the accelerator onto the brakes into second gear, and now just push through here into third, and now through the follow through. Keep it down on the power. Early turn, yes, just flat, 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 flat on the power through there. That's good. And then on the brake, second to last corner into second gear. Clip this corner. That's good. That's very good. And now into Gambon. Down a cog. And across the line at 1:46.7. Yes, I think I'm happy with that. 1:46.7 from the beautiful Jaguar Mark II. Right, I think that just sums it all up. There you go. If you have a suggestion for what car needs to be run next on the Top Gear circuit, leave it down in the comments below. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. And also, if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Whatever you like. And yeah, also check out my PayPal. It will be in the description below if you want to help me get on my road to a Logitech G29. I would appreciate that. And I think that's about it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. So, peace.